Hello and welcome. This evening I wanted to do something a bit loose and free in my abstract backgrounds book. Something different from what I did in the previous page. You can see there it involved a ruler, a compass, and just way too much of my brain to create. Sometimes I feel like drawing something that fits to quite a rigid grid. I'm really thinking about the size of the page I'm drawing on, what size I want the shapes to be, so that means I have to do some maths. And by maths, I mean literally just measure, count and measure and then make sure everything will fit. And that's not what today is about. Today I want to create something a bit more chill. So when I want to do this, I generally start with a massive scribble of some sort, just letting my hand do its thing and hoping it doesn't end up running off the page, but this one turned out okay. I'm doing a few layers too, as the first didn't give me enough shapes, so I'm going over it again and I'll probably add a few more lines as I go, just when and where I feel like it. I'm using my Rotring Tiki pen in 0.8 for this bit. I usually use a 0.4, but I wanted to outline my scribble with a thicker line, so that's why I'm using a pen with a thicker nib. Something else I'm doing here is I'm also rounding the corners where two lines cross one another. This type of art is called neurographic art, I think, named after the way it kind of looks like neurons in the brain, and also because it has a very calming effect as you draw. I'm going to add another step to my outlines. I'm not going to ignore the watercolour shapes that are in the background. I'm going to outline those as well, and then also add in the wee rounded corners as I go whenever they connect with other lines. I'm only going to outline the coloured shapes if they overlap with the squiggle and see how that looks as I go. Now that I have my outline, I think I'm just going to do a single fill for all of the white areas. Sometimes I like to do 3, maybe 4 fill patterns, but as this design is already getting a little bit hectic looking, I'm just going to use one, and also I do not have the brain power this evening to decide on anything else. I recently discovered this fill pattern when I was filling in a design I did on some old book pages. It was a complete gamble, but I really love the almost psychedelic effect that it gives. I've put on a nice wee documentary in the background. It's Stephen Fry talking about the Gutenberg press, by the way. I'm just watching it on YouTube, but I'm realising it's one that I should really be looking at because as informative as it is, they keep gushing about what they're doing and I'm not looking at the screen, I'm only listening. I obviously enjoy creating art a lot. It's my absolute favourite pastime, and usually having some form of audio companion is a nice addition to the activity. Sometimes it's music, but most of the time it is movies or a TV show. And usually, yes, one that I've watched before so that I don't feel compelled to look up too often from what I'm doing. So I'm going to continue doing that to fill out the entire squiggle shape and see how she turns out in the end. Thanks so much for taking the time to watch this video. If you like this type of thing where I'm narrating a bit while I'm drawing, please let me know. YouTube is still very new to me and I'm very much getting the hang of it all, but it has been great fun making these types of videos. See you in the next one.